I've been transitioning more from victim consciousness to self-empowerment. And it's such a nice feeling to stop victimizing yourself. Pretty much most people that you see around you are currently in victim consciousness, meaning that they feel like life is happening to them, like they don't have any semblance of control, and they usually externalize and project the blame outside. They don't take responsibility. And again, this isn't a judgment of any kind. This was pretty much the first 20, 24, 23 years of my life, just being in victim consciousness. And you do it because you're afraid, and you just are afraid of the world, and you don't know how to feel in control. You feel really out of control. So you retreat into feeling like a victim, because at least there's some certainty in being a victim. It's very, very certain. You repeat the same cycles. You get to be addicted to things. You get to be in the comfort of your own home, in the comfort of your own fears and anxieties. They're probably really familiar to you by now. And so going into a life or a state of consciousness where you're not afraid is actually very scary. Because you don't know what's going to happen. It's unfamiliar territory. When you're not afraid, anything is possible. And so this is what I want to talk about. As you're transitioning from this feeling of I can't, victim consciousness, to I can, which is self-empowerment, you might feel, at least for me, that it's overwhelming. It's overwhelming, and your nervous system and your body hasn't quite adapted to feeling empowered. Because when you're empowered and you truly believe you can do anything, that means that there are infinite possibilities. And if you try to control this like very heavily and you try to attach onto it, it will drive you crazy, as it has been driving me crazy. So when you can do anything and you have infinite possibilities, there's almost a paralysis. This is where surrender comes in. So when you feel like you can, you might be tempted to micromanage reality and to basically be like, oh, I can do it. And so you try to do everything. You don't leave anything up to grace or to God or to the universe to surrender. You try to do everything. And yeah, this will drive you crazy. This will burn you out. This will overwhelm you. This will make you anxious. Even in your empowerment, you'll be anxious if you don't surrender. Because your mind, and this is such an important part of self-empowerment, is to understand your own limitations. Again, it's kind of like... it's kind of a weird process, to be honest. I don't know how quite like to describe it precisely. But so you're going from victimhood, where you're just in your limitations and you feel limited and you feel weak. And then you'll go to self-empowerment, and then you feel strong, you can control things, you can do things. But then you have to kind of integrate the limitation aspect, but not in the same way as when you were a victim. You have to integrate that your mind, your body, your ability to process things is limited, and that there's a universal, larger intelligence at play, whatever you want to call that, God, the universe, whatever it may be. Like, just to like make it a bit more concrete, you don't control the beating of your heart. You don't control the way the cells in your body move, what they do, the different functions. There is an intelligence going on in your body that is out of your control. In the same way, the whole world, like every single person in the world is doing their own things. There's the natures out there. There's various different parts just intermingling, and then opportunities present themselves into your life. But you didn't control all of these little things. So if you meet someone, you didn't control their whole life for them to end up at that point, right? And so the universe conspired to bring that person to you. Your mind is such a tiny, tiny, tiny part of this whole process. Like the conscious decisions that you make, the exercising of your free will, and just the actions that you do. That is such a tiny part of this larger thing. And so when you try to get your mind, your like the tiny part, and you try to control the whole thing with your mind, you naturally, your brain just gets fried, you get anxious, you get overwhelmed. And so this is where surrender comes in. You say to yourself, okay, this is pretty fucking crazy. There's so much shit going on and I can't really do everything. Like I can't dictate the course of my life completely. Like I don't have 100% control as I might have thought I did or I would want to. So you say, okay, I'm just going to do what I can. So what do I have control over? I have control over my actions. So I'm going to act. And whether those actions result in something like a specific outcome, or whether I meet someone and my course changes, like I don't know what's going to happen in the future. Like I'm completely uncertain because there's no way to tell. And so you focus on the acting, you act, and then you let go. You let go of the outcome. You let go of trying to control your environment to a T. You just focus on the action, the process, the thing that you can do. You act and then you let go. And this will free you up from a lot of anxiety and worry and just overwhelm. You'll feel empowered because you feel like you can still act and you have control over your actions. When you're in victim consciousness, you don't even feel like you can act. You don't even begin the acting process, let alone surrendering the outcomes of your actions. So in this empowerment, you feel in control, but also out of control. It's very paradoxical. And you're beginning to go into the state of self-transcendence and surrender. So we have the victim consciousness, then we have self-empowerment, and then we have self-transcendence. You can actually see that the universe will take care of you as you surrender control. You have something to fall back on. It might feel like when you let go of control, your life will go into ruin. If you stop thinking about the future, there's nothing there to support you. And this is where you can take a leap of faith and trust, and you will see that you're okay. You're going to be okay. The world will provide what you need. It's not a hostile environment. It might seem like that, but it's not. And this is like, I'm not 100% there, or maybe even like 20% there for the third stage of self-transcendence. But essentially, from what I've understood, as you let go more and more and more and more, you realize you were never in control in the first place. There was nothing to control at all. And this phase of self-empowerment was just a phase, an illusion in a sense, where you felt like you could do things. And then you realize, you were never doing anything. Even your own actions and your own intentions and everything that's happening in here was part of the larger whole and the grand intelligence in a sense. But anyways, that's for another video. This video is more the focus from victim to self-empowered and dealing with the overwhelm of having infinite possibilities and letting go of the control. Because when you try to control uncertainty, it fries your brain. So that's everything for this video. If you need help with your work life or business life, or you want to join a community of like-minded people who are spiritual, interested in mastery, check out the links down below. And for now, peace and love.